Are you good, Cliff? Alrighty. So welcome everybody. My name is Dan Roos, and we're super excited that you're here and to our new office. So much new. The best part about this office, we got orange walls. You don't have orange walls at your job. This place is awesome. So let me get this distraction out of the way. And so everything we do here is fun, but we of course always have to have a safety brief. The safety brief says, turn your cell phone off, please, or turn it on vibrate or stun or quiet. And I really would appreciate it if you would turn on airplane mode while we're doing this. We're live streaming this out to Tennessee, North Carolina, West Virginia, Pennsylvania. So we've got a bunch of people out there that are watching us online. And so I don't want, if you guys suck up all my bandwidth, it's going to be harder for them to see. So if you put your phone on airplane mode, that'd be awesome. So we do want you to ask questions. We're gonna give you a great presentation tonight about money. Everybody loves to learn about money. But we want to hold all your questions to the end. We do want your questions, but if I take all of your questions as we go, we'll probably be here till midnight. This great presentation takes about 3 hours anyways, and so we want to make sure. No, I'm just kidding. But we do want to answer your questions. I will stay here as late as you want me to answer all of your questions at the end. And so if you do need paper or pen or anything like that, we do have it in the back. We're happy to give that to you. We do have 2 bathrooms, restrooms over here. One that actually says restroom right on the door. It's pretty cool. We're like really cool like that. And then one in between those walls. There's an exit door right out the back. Most of y'all came in. There's one over here on my left, your right. If there is an emergency, which I don't expect there to be, all I ask is you don't trample your buddy out the door. We want to work as a team. Let's all go out together, and then we'll sing songs in the rain. Maybe we'll sing "Singing in the Rain," and or we can just pray that there's no problems tonight in the building. So tonight we're going to talk about time and financial freedom. Now, time and financial freedom are the 2 things that most people want the most. How's that for a sentence? Now, how many people here would actually like to have more free time? Yeah, I think so. How many people here would actually like to have more financial freedom, more money? Yeah. And how many people here are just flat out scared to raise their hand? There's always a couple. Always a couple. And so our company is in a massive growth phase. So however you got to be down here tonight, you're in for a treat. This company is growing at a massive rate. We actually have 2 offices. We're on track to open up our 3rd office in literally the next 60 to 90 days. This young man, Anthony Williams, is going to be putting up another office for us down in Newport News, Hampton area, and it's going to be fantastic.
Hampton.
Hampton?
Hampton.
Your wife said Newport News. We know who the boss is. Come on now. And so we're going to share some principles and concepts with you that are time-tested, but the reality is they just haven't been taught recently in the school system, but they're unique to our company and our business model, which you'll see. Our company itself is we care about helping families 100% of the time. That's what our founders said we're going to do, and we care about doing what's right. We're always going to do right for our families. And the concepts that we bring, that we teach people, which you're going to see here in just a second, they bring huge value. If you apply what I teach you to your life tonight, it will change your life and help you to reach some of those big goals and dreams that you had when you might have been younger. And so the one question that I do want you to answer tonight, really 2 of them. One, is there a need for what we do? Is there a need for what we do? And the second question is this company legitimate? I mean, is this a real organization? I mean, can you have confidence in who we are and what we do? So, tell you a little bit about our company. We were started back in 1977, so we're almost 40 years old. As a matter of fact, our 40th birthday will be on February 10th. Oh, you guys are scaring me. Okay. Now, we are listed on the New York Stock Exchange, so you can buy our stock just like Coca-Cola and Walmart. And last year, we're the largest independent financial services marketing company in North America. And some of you probably have never heard of us. That's because we don't do any formal advertising whatsoever. Everything we do is word of mouth. So we're not on the newspapers, we're not on radio or TV or anything like that. All we do is just talk to people. And just through doing that, we're the largest financial services company in North America. It's pretty amazing. Last year, Forbes magazine rated us as one of America's 50 most trustworthy financial services companies. And that's a big deal. They didn't say we were the largest, they said that we were the most trustworthy. And if you actually read the article, you would not recognize probably 45 names of the companies that were on there. Because the companies that you've heard of on TV, like Wells Fargo or Merrill Lynch or Smith Barney or Allstate, State Farm, none of those companies are on this list. And so that's a big deal for us to be one of the most trustworthy. So let's talk about what's going on in the economy today. Right now, the average American household that has at least 1 credit card has over $15,000 in credit card debt. Now, some of you are sitting here for the first time and you're going, who on earth would have $15,000 in credit card debt? That's insanity. But you know, somebody's sitting right next to you, like Regina. She's going, man, I wish I only had $15,000 in credit card debt. I mean, it's that bad. 95 million U.S. adults have no life insurance, and that's a big deal. 7 out of 10 Americans today have no life insurance. Half of all workers have less than $25,000 saved for retirement, and half of all workers actually said that, hey, I don't even think I'm going to be able to retire. I actually think that number's kind of low. And right now, 3/4, that's 75% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck and have no savings. And so I read an article back actually in October that said, October 9th, it was in the USA Today, that said 7 out of 10 Americans have less than $1,000 saved. Now, I don't need a show of hands, but that's not good. There's about 25 of us in this room right now, which means there's like 17 or 18 of us living paycheck to paycheck. And I think you all would agree with me that that's probably not good. Now, if I asked 100 people, would you like to be financially independent? How many would say yes?
All of them.
I think so. I think all of them would. But the real question is how many of them actually achieve financial independence by the time they're age 65? Well, right now, 66% of Americans are either going back to work or they're relying on the government for their entire retirement. How many people here, your plan is to just have the government take care of your entire retirement? No. Good decision. Good decision. I would recommend you don't do that. And 16 people have died by the time they're 65 or before. 14 people are at or below the poverty level, and only 4 people are actually financially independent. 4 out of 100. And in a room this size with the 25 or 28 of us that are in here, that means 1. I'm good. So the rest of y'all are going to have to go fight it out. I don't know what's going to happen. No. So this is crazy, but why do you think that is? What happened to the other 90? Yeah, a lack of information. No plan. And so, now there's thousands of financial institutions out there, banks on every corner, and probably everybody in here, most of everybody in here has some type of a bank account. Are the banks helping you become wealthy? Not at all. Not at all. And so the other big challenge is household incomes. In the year 2000, the average household income was $57,000 a year. Now, 14 years later, in 2014, it dropped to $52,000. That's a 10% decrease. Now, in 2016, it swelled all the way back up to $53,000. Woohoo! Now, what's happened to the price of goods over those 15 years? They've gone up. So our incomes are dropping 10%. The price of goods is doubling. What's the chance of somebody in middle-income America actually making it financially?
Slim.
Yeah, you can't do it. I wouldn't even say slim. That would be, I don't think so. Right? Your income continues to go down and the price of goods are going up. It's never going to happen. And so this is the debt in middle-income America just with credit cards. So if we take all the household with credit card debt, just the average, and multiply that out, that's $700 billion. If we multiply the average household auto loan, this is car loans in America, that's $1 trillion. Student loans is another $1.2 trillion. That's $3 trillion of consumer debt. That's not the government's debt. That's our debt, my debt, and your debt. That's amazing. Now, I don't think anybody in this room would argue with me that what's going on financially in America today for the middle-income market is pretty troubling at best. Well, the nice thing about our company is we don't just tell you what all the problems are. We bring solutions to the table. And we believe that the solution is our company. And that's because of this mission statement right here. We help families earn more income, become properly protected, debt-free, and financially independent. And we do that in several ways. First of all, we have the largest life insurance sales force in North America. Not just life insurance, but auto and home insurance, renter's insurance, long-term care, health insurance, all of the things that you need. We make sure that you're not spending too much money on those. And then on top of that, we offer debt programs to get you out of debt, multiple debt programs, debt stacking, debt watchers, a bunch of other things, so that you can get out of debt very quickly. And I'll show you how that works in a minute. But we don't even stop there. We also have the largest mutual fund licensed sales force. So we help you invest your money, put portfolios together, so your money will grow over time, so you actually have a stockpile so you can retire one day. That's pretty awesome. Now, here's the thing that's very interesting about our company. We are the largest. We have over 115,000 licensed agents in our business, and we've been around for 40 years, and we only have a 2% market share. What does that mean? That means for every 100 houses I drive by going home tonight, I can help 98 of those families. Now, our company is trying to get a 10% market share. And for us to get a 10% market share, we are going to have about 350,000 licensed representatives. And the reason why is, over the course of 5 years, our company helps about 1.75 million families. But during the last 5 years, the middle-income market has grown by 2 million families. So our market's not getting smaller, our market's getting larger. And that's why we need to recruit, hire, and train more people to do this business. There's a huge need out there. Now, what were you all taught about how money works when you were growing up?
No.
You're brand new. What were you taught about money?
Stay out of debt was basically the biggest thing drilled in my head.
By the way, that is great. That is great advice. You should stay out of debt. But is that going to make you independently wealthy? Absolutely not. When I was growing up, I was told save 10%. Now we're getting better. If I take what you learned, and I take what I learned, and we put that together, we're getting a little bit better. But most people were taught nothing. They weren't taught a thing. They went through their entire high school, right, even through college. Their parents didn't share anything with them, and they walk out into the big world and the big game of money, and they know nothing. And so here is the big problem. Most people, have you guys heard this? That people don't plan to fail. They just fail to plan. But see, if you fail to plan, you do plan to fail. Ooh, chicken and egg, chicken and egg. Okay, so here's the big problem. The problem is that traditional financial institutions, they just want to sell you a product. Here, take this. But they don't want to give you a whole solution. And so it looks like this. Most people are stuck in the center here, and your money is just flying out in all these different directions. Well, what's the chance of you getting to a financial destination if your money's going out in all those areas? It can't be done. And we consider the money game the most important game you'll play as an adult. And you know, you need a coach and a game plan to win a pee-wee basketball game. And here we're playing the biggest game of our life, no coach, no game plan, and the players just running out all over the field. And so what we do is we have a problem, we have a solution to this. That is the problem. The solution is this. It's a financial needs analysis, which we offer to all of our clients, and it's customized for each person. And what it does is it identifies all of your financial goals. We consider this a financial GPS. As an example, when you were coming over here this evening, I bet none of you got in your car and you didn't know where you were going, and you said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to drive around in circles until I find a place. Nobody did that. If you hadn't been here before, you put this in a Waze system, a map system, a GPS, something that was going to get you from point A to point B. And you do that when you get in your car every day. And so we do this with your finances, because if you don't have a plan, it's going to be a disaster. And so what we do is we take you from point A, all of your debt, and we actually take you to a debt freedom date. And we put a program that takes you step by step to get you out of debt as quickly as possible. Same thing with your investing. We take you where you are in your investments today, take you step by step to financial independence, and we do this in every area of your finances. Now, Consumer Reports did a study back in 2014 that said that the average financial needs analysis cost $1,100. Do you need to pay somebody $1,100 to have them tell you you need to save and make more money? No. And so we do it for the low, low price of free. I don't even have to do an analysis on you and tell you you need to save and make more money. I think that works for everybody. But what we do is we actually go in depth and actually build a plan on every area of your finance to maximize your dollars. Now, our company actually represents over 100 different financial institutions. Some of these you probably already heard of. The thing that's nice about this is you do not have to be a financial expert. I think you guys can tell from the 10 minutes I've been up here, I'm probably not a financial genius. And it's okay. I don't have to be. Because I know them all, right? If I got a question about some type of an investment, I call the guy at Invesco. Each one of these companies has representatives, or called wholesalers, that are designated and dedicated to helping us here in Primerica, which is really, really awesome. And so that's a big deal. Now, to show you how some of these concepts work, if you want to become financially independent, the first thing you have to do is start with the end in mind. And the end is this financial independence number. And so as an example, if you wanted to retire 30 years from now with $30,000 a year in today's dollars, what you would do is you would multiply all that out by the inflation rate. We use an average of 3. And 30 years from now, you will actually need $73,000, because that will actually spend like $30,000 today. Right? Because the price of milk's going up, the price of eggs is going up. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. I'll just make sure I didn't confuse myself. Okay. Yeah. Now, to get to $73,000, they're going to need $1 million. $1 million is their financial independence number. Why is it $1 million? Well, if you have $1 million and you invest it at a reasonable rate of return, we'll say 7%, you will make $70,000 a year without working. And you can live off of that money for the rest of your life. Does that make sense? Now, by the way, if anybody here has just an extra $1 million, you need to come see me after class. I'll help you invest in it. So, there's 4 main rules to money. The first one is called the Rule of 72. And my guess is if this is your first time here, you've never heard of this, because they don't teach this in school. And so this rule actually tells us how to double our money. And what you do, as an example, Let's say you had $10,000 at a savings account in a bank, and you were getting paid 3% interest, which is fantasy land today. The banks are paying 0.03%. So what you do is you take the interest rate 3, you divide it by the number 72, and you get 24. So it's going to take your $10,000 24 years to double to 20, 24 more years for a total of 48 years to double to 40,000. So you're like 20 years old. If you had $10,000 in a savings account at 3%, when you turn 68, you'll have $40,000 for retirement. How excited are you?
Awesome.
No, you're not. You're freaking out. You've been retired for like 1 day. And then you have to go get a job. Because 68 years from now, milk will be $40,000 a gallon. So if we double the interest rate from 6% from 3% to 6%, you take 6 divided by 72 and it goes into 12. So your money's doubling every 12 years, and now you have 160,000. That's better than the 40,000. But would you agree? 48 years from now, 160,000 is not going to be a lot of money. So if we double the interest rate from 6 to 12%, now your money's going to double every 6 years. Do you see a difference?
Big difference.
Isn't that incredible? $2.5 million. But what I want you to notice is we started with the exact same amount of money for the exact same number of years. The only difference is where your money is, right? Here your money's in a bank or an institution. It's in a bank or an institution. But over here, your money's actually in the market or it's in the economy. So what do you think the bank's doing with your $10,000 sitting in that savings account earning 3%?
Building it out.
That's right. They're taking your money out of the bank, they're putting it in the economy, and after the bank makes $2.5 million, they're so happy to give you 40. And we think that's crazy. We want you to keep control of as much of your own money as possible. If the banks can do that, then so can you. Now, how are you going to win the money game if you don't understand these rules? Yeah, you can't. Now, do the banks or the insurance companies have any incentive to teach you this stuff? Absolutely not. I don't know if you noticed this at the top, but if you actually Google the Rule of 72, it comes up as the banker's rule. I was so mad when I found that out. Now, who can benefit from learning this? Everybody. Now, shouldn't we have learned this in school? I don't think you should be able to graduate from high school without standing up in front of a group of your peers and teaching them this. This is so important to your finances. Now, if you don't introduce us to your friends and family, how are they ever going to learn this? My guess is, for those of you who are here for the very first time, you've never heard of this rule. And by the way, if you've never heard of it, your friends and family don't know it either. Because if they knew it and they understood it, they'd have told you about it. Because look at the difference. That's amazing. Okay, so let me talk about debt for a second. Now, we consider debt a financial cancer. Now, everybody here knows about the physical cancer. Probably everybody in this room either knows somebody that has either died from cancer or they've had cancer. I mean, we understand 1 in 3 Americans get cancer in their lifetime. We get it. But you know that debt is actually a financial cancer, and it is so bad that people literally commit suicide because of their debt. It's tragic. And so we consider ourselves, financial doctors. We literally save people's lives. And so this is just one way that we help people with debt. It's called a debt stack. So this is a real client of mine, and he's got basic debt that you normal people would have, but he's paying $2,700 a month just to service his debt. Do you know there are some people that work full-time and don't make that much money in a month? And they're paying that on their debt. And so what we did is we took all of his debt, we ran it through our computer system that does the debt stack, and what it does is it reorders it and helps them pay it off as quickly as possible, saving the most amount of interest. And so for them, what we told them to do is go ahead and pay that retail card off, and when it's paid off, take all of the money and apply it to the credit card. When the credit card's paid off, put it to the car loan. When the car loan's paid off, to the credit card, and then the credit card to the house. But what I want you to know here is we never asked them to spend any more money. And in some cases, we can actually have them spend less. There's one gentleman I sat down with that actually, and I think it was actually this gentleman, that I told him, look, just put $2,200 on your debt, not $2,700, and take the other $500, and we can actually put it in different places in your financial house where it can work more efficiently so you can reach financial independence faster. And so with this gentleman's plan that he was doing, it was going to take him 23 years to pay off all that debt. And he was going to actually pay over $200,000 in interest. That's at least one house, and depending on where you live, could be 2 houses that you could pay cash for. Isn't that crazy? Now, how long do you think it would take him to pay it off using our program? Chirp, chirp.
5 years.
Sure. Thank you very much. And that is very, very good. It does take 8 though, so we're pretty close. But I appreciate your enthusiasm about how good we're doing. Now it took 8 years, which is 15 years faster. But look at this: we saved him $130,000. That's like another house. We saved him. It stayed in his pocket. Now, if that's all we did for him, would he be happy? Yeah. And by the way, this 8 years paying everything off, that includes the house. The house is paid off. It is not uncommon for us to get people completely debt-free, including their house, in less than 10 years. That is not uncommon. But then the next step is very exciting because we take all the money they were using for their debt and we help them invest it at a decent rate of return. When they're 65, they got $2 million. If you were debt-free, age 65, and had $2 million, could you retire?
Yes.
Yes! Yes, you could. And that's what we help families do every day. And so let's talk about life insurance just briefly. There's 3 basic types of life insurance. There's group life insurance, which is actually life insurance that your job can give you. And a lot of times your job will give you like 1 time or 2 times your salary for free. But the problem with that is it's actually owned by your job, and it's a contract between your job and the insurance company, so your name is actually not in it. And so they get to change everything because they're the policyholders. They can change how much it costs. They can change how much coverage you have. They can just cancel it without telling you. And even if you die, they don't even have to pay. So do you think that's something you should use to depend on for your family? No. And if you read any books on any financial coaches, they will all tell you do not. If the company's going to give you some for free, take it. It's free. But don't depend on it. You need to own life insurance on your own. Because the life insurance that you own on your own will pay 100% of the time because it's yours. You own that contract. And there's 2 types of life insurance you can own. The first one is cash value life insurance. This are things like whole life, universal, variable, Gerber, global. And that is protection, life insurance protection, but it also has a savings account built inside of it. You can build up a savings. The other type is called term life insurance, and that's just protection. It's just like your car insurance. So let me show you this example. So this is Bob and Susan. They're married, age 30. They got 2 kids. They have $150,000 worth of cash value life insurance, whole life, universal, what have you. They're paying $315 a month for that coverage. Inside the policy, there's an illustration that says when they turn 65, 35 years from now, they'll have $126,000 saved inside the life insurance. But if we do the math and we multiply $315 times 12 and then multiply that by 35 years, we get $132,000. So if you paid $132,000 into this, and you had $126,000 saved, is that a good savings program?
No.
I don't think so. Well, where'd the other $6,000 go? So what we did is we did a financial needs analysis for them and found out that they actually needed $400,000. For those of you who are married and have some children, I think you would agree with me that if you were married with 2 kids, $150,000 ain't going very far. And so they were already underinsured. And so with the term life insurance, it was only $120 for both, not each. And so we lowered the coverage, we tripled the coverage almost, but we lowered the cost by like 60%. Then we told them, take all that extra money you were spending in the life insurance and invest it yourself, and when you're 65, you have about $600,000. Now just on the surface, which one of those 2 would you rather have?
The bigger one.
Pick the big one. Always pick the bigger one. Now, here's where the good learning comes in, and this is not a trick question. If Bob dies with the cash value life insurance, Susan's going to get the $150,000. She's the beneficiary. But who keeps the $126,000 of their savings?
The insurance company.
You know, that money actually does go back to the insurance company. But whose money is that?
Susan's.
It should be Bob and Susan's. Now, if that happened to one of you, how would that make you feel? Postal, yeah, it wouldn't be good. I heard some lady say, I'd come back up out of the grave. I mean, that's not good. That's not good. So on the term side, if Bob dies, Susan's going to get the $400,000, but who keeps the $600,000 of investments? Susan does, because it's in their own name. She's the beneficiary. And then again, our company's goal is to help you keep in control of as much of your own money as possible. Don't let the banks control it. Credit card companies, insurance companies, you control it and you keep it. Now, the thing that's unique about our company is we're the only company in the entire financial industry that only sells term life insurance. There's 864 life insurance companies out there, and all of them sell cash value life insurance. Why do you think they do that?
Profit.
Yeah, they make a killing at your expense because you're way underinsured, so they're not even taking care of you as a client. And so this is legal, but we don't think it's moral. And so we don't even offer that. We want you to be protected properly either way. If you live, you got all the money. If you die, you still got all the money, so either way you win. We want your family well protected. And so this is how we see life working. In the early years, we do believe you need a lot of life insurance. And that's because you got some young kids, some debt or a mortgage, so the loss of your income would be devastating because your savings and your investments haven't grown yet. But as your savings and your investments do grow, you come to what we call the theory of decreased responsibility. So now your kids are grown and out of the house, your debt's paid off, house is paid off, so now you just need money to live off of. So your need for life insurance can actually go down and ultimately can go away. And what our company does is we help make sure you get the right amount of life insurance, the right kind, which is level term. But then we help you get out of your life insurance because we help you get out of debt very quickly. We help you invest for your whole financial life cycle. So if you're debt-free with $2 million, do you need $400,000 worth of life insurance? No! So get rid of that too, and you keep that money as well. When's the last time you heard of a company that helped you get out of the products that they provide? This company is amazing. So I think I want you to watch a video. Let me see. Thank you.